Hi everyone, welcome back to JPWHUTV. My name is John, your host. New podcast and a very special guest, a man that doesn't really need to have much of an introduction, but I'm going to give an introduction to him anyway. Everybody knows him. Very talented supporter, especially what he's been doing for Team Isla. You could argue that his heart is as big as his stomach. Loves to sink the Mark Noble when he's drunk. Loves to speak to his drunks, as you've just seen. It's Mr. Baz Cox. How you doing, sir?
Good, John. Yourself? Thanks for having me on.
You're more than welcome. It's been a real shame that we've never got a chance to talk. Bearing in mind you're only a few seats away from me over the Bobby Moore lower.
Wait, the size of me, I'm only a few seats away from everyone.
Pretty much, yeah. Before we get into the discussion with Baz, I just want to do a quick shout out to the sponsors, 3retro.com. There is a link in the description below. Excuse me, that will take you directly through to their West Ham section of their website, where you can purchase retro shirts from the 60s all the way through to the mid 2000s, including the kits that have inspired the brand new team kits that have been released today, which we'll also talk about, the 76 kit and the 1980 kit. Any purchases that you make through the link will go to help funding the channel, so thank you very much from that. There are some really nice Umbro and Admiral track jackets, polo shirts, t-shirts and sweatshirts, so go check all those out. So Baz, right, let's have a talk about you first and foremost, because apparently that's what you're known for on Twitter.
Yeah, I know, yeah. The attention, isn't it?
Basically the conversation.
It's been a fun week.
Yeah, it's been an interesting one, which is one of the reasons why I suggested you come in on the channel, because obviously that little bit of trolling you were getting on very late Monday night from a little Herbert. So basically, Baz, you grew up in Surrey. Whereabouts did you actually grow up in Surrey?
Wallington, little town, just near Sutton and Croydon, in between there. I was born in Carshalton. My old man's a West Ham fan. That's where the link come. Really, my team probably should have been Palace or Wimbledon, but there was no way of being that. I followed my old man like I should, and he took me in '86, and I've been going ever since.
I know the feeling. With me, I grew up not that far away from you, to be honest. Worcester Park, New Malden, Kingston, those side of things. And it's the same connection, but from my mum's side of the family, it goes all the way back to the Thames Ironworks days. So it's very good from that point of view that we've got that bit in common, because being, like, you're absolutely right, living in that neck of the woods, being southwest London, you know, with the local teams, as you say, were Palace,
Chelsea and all now, isn't it, really?
Chelsea, Fulham.
Chelsea.
Yep. You know, and also, you know, the original Wimbledon lot as well. And yeah, when I was growing up, I used to get quite a bit of abuse from my mates being a West Ham supporter. So
I always say I wish my old man was born in Barcelona. I'd have been all right, wouldn't I? I'd seen me club and country in something. Now I'm stuck with England and West Ham. I've got no chance.
The better claret and blue, I suppose, isn't it, Barcelona? So for you going to what? So basically, where are we? 33 years of going to West Ham. Who is your number one all-time West Ham hero?
Tony Gow. By a country mile, Tony Gow.
Yeah,
absolute legend. I was lucky when I was younger. My old man took me all the time, and my mum. And like me with my niece now, they used to keep me behind after the games to get autographs, and he was always the one person I wanted an autograph. Georgie's like that now, to be fair, and she's like that with Declan and Cresswell. They're the two she always wants to see. And when I was younger, it was always Tony Gow. Got quite friendly, and then I used to meet Tony's boy, Anthony, and Tony used to take us to the training ground at Chadwell when I was a kid. And we went over when they had the football camps at Sussex Beach. I used to go with them, and we stayed good friends. My old man became friends with him. We sponsored the match, bought his testimonial. And for me, Tony Gow has always been my favourite player by a long way. Still going?
Yeah, I can appreciate that. Like you say, a complete legend for the club, and also he still has that knack of that. You can hear when he does his commentary for Sky Sports and other channels that he does. You can hear he still loves the club. Oh, hang on. Oh, what's going on here? Sorry. Yeah, weird little delay going on there. But yeah, no. So it's that's totally understandable. So with talking to Georgie, obviously you and her have been going up and down the length and breadth of the country the last couple of years with the donations for Isla's cause. Obviously, you put up on your Twitter account earlier today that she went into hospital. Have you heard anything since then on how she's doing?
Yeah, I spoke to her mum on the way home. I called her. So last week she had the operation and had the ports fitted into her brain and her chest, which leads up to her 8H9 treatment, which once she's had that, gives her a 70% chance of not relapsing again, which is fantastic. She went in today basically just for tests to make sure it was all working and flowing properly. And Nicola said everything's come out perfect.
Oh, brilliant.
So she's got a few days off now, and she goes in next Wednesday for the first lot of 8H9 treatment. I keep getting that wrong, but yeah, 8H9.
Wonderful, because obviously we saw the photograph of her asleep in the car on the way out of that. That's really good news.
Again, the treatment today, the test today was under general anaesthetic for her, so she's been through the wars, a little girl. She's a strong kid, and she's a proper little fighter, bless her.
Absolutely, 100%. And it's been, as you know, as I've mentioned to you a few times since we chatted little bits on Twitter, absolutely hands up to you for what you've done for the family the last couple of years. Very disappointed, shall we say, that certain clubs have not allowed you to stand outside their ground with the donation pots. Majority of them have, though. There's what, 3 or 4? Not to name drop.
Yeah. No, I'll tell you later. Last year, Arsenal refused us, and Leicester. But Leicester had a valid reason. Leicester had their own charity day, being the last game of the season, for a local lad up there who he does a run every year. I can't remember the guy's name, and I feel rude now. But he does a run around the stadium every year, and it was their day. So when Leicester refused me, they didn't give me that for a reason at the time. They just outrightly said no. So I called them out, which went on. And the stadium supervisor, a man who I've become friends with, a guy called Jim, he contacted me back and he explained why. And he went to the owners of the football club, who come back and wanted to make £1,000 donation, as they wouldn't allow us to collect, which was amazing. So last year, my only problem really was with Arsenal. They just refused us outright. And then this year, Arsenal refused us again. Fulham refused me. Southampton refused me. Bournemouth refused me. Man City did, but again, Man City gave something. It's just the rubbish excuses. You know, Southampton was like, no, you need permission from the council, which I didn't, because it's on their land. So it's just crap. Fulham come up with, I could get robbed or mugged on the way home. Like, they don't even know where I live. There's houses right opposite their ground. For all they know, I could live in there. Now, just tell me the truth. Just say to me, you can't because of this reason. I'd respect it, and I'd never call the club out. But when you come out with a lie, that's when it gets me back up. But it's gone now, and most clubs have been fantastic, in fairness, along with supporters. And the supporters of these clubs that have said no, like Arsenal, they've been great, and they've made donations on the Just Giving page and apologised for the club's behaviour. A couple of Fulham fans went out their way, and I've got indoors now a signed Fulham squad shirt and a Tom Kearney shirt, which they got done for us to auction off to try and raise money. Bournemouth, it went to their assistant manager, Fletcher. Is it Steve Fletcher?
Yeah.
His name. He come over. He sent a message to a guy who knows me on Twitter and said, look, tell your mate to be front row at full time. I'm going to bring him something over. He brought me over Nathan Ake's shirt from the game. Since then, I also got a Junior Stanislas shirt. So some clubs have done the same. Southampton, Nathan Redmond spotted it on Twitter, and he went out his way to follow me and DM me, and he sent me a DM saying he wants to donate a shirt and boots for us to auction off, which we've got. You know, so some people have done stuff. If I'm honest, the only club that have never done nothing is Arsenal.
Yeah, I mean, you're always going to get those people just bullshit the entire way, and you can smell it a mile off. You can always smell it a mile off. There is a link, by the way, guys, for those that are watching. There is a link in the description below, directly to the Just Giving page. So by all means, if you're watching this, it's the end of the month now. If you can put any money that you can into that, I'm sure it'll be every single penny of that is going to be very, very appreciated. And looking at the website just before we went live, mate, 80% of the target.
Yeah, we're getting up there. We're getting up. You know, it's hard now because we've got the next 3 months of not collecting match days. So it is a case now of everything online, getting auctions out, selling tickets for certain things, blah, blah, blah. You know, the days of 6 of us being outside the London Stadium for the next few weeks ain't there. Me outside in the away ground. So right now it's hard work to get the right things done for her and get some money in still.
100%. So also, Baz, one of the other things you're quite famous for recently is your Bexecutive, your chauffeur business. Obviously, you've had some big names from West Ham in the car on a few occasions. Obviously, you mentioned him before, Declan Rice. What is Declan Rice actually like as a person? Because obviously we know him as when he's been interviewed and how he plays, but he seems to be a lovely, approachable, genuine geezer. Is
Mate,
that?
I can't speak highly enough of him. I generally can't speak highly enough of him. To think that lad's 20, it's incredible. He's just he is something else. He's so level-headed, and you've only got to look at his attitude on the pitch to know what he'd be like off it. You know, he's been knocked back 3 times by West Ham, Newcastle away last year, Liverpool away this year, Arsenal away this year, and every time he's responded, and he ain't gone sulking. You know, I'm going to use him as an example here. Reece Oxford, and nothing personally against Reece, but where's he been? No, he got bombed and he's sulked, in fairness, and he's never responded. He ain't shown true professionalism like Declan has, and Declan's come through every time and responded the right way. He's kept his head on his shoulders, he's done his job, he's worked hard and done his job and reacted. As a person, mate, he's just top drawer. I can't speak highly enough of him. Silly little things, you know. He'll get in my car and Georgie will be with me, and he'll talk to her before me to make her feel comfortable. You know, and it just makes her day, and that's what it's all about. You know, he's a great guy, and he's a great kid. And the fruit ain't fell far from the tree there because he's from a good family as well.
Yeah, again, as you know, they all stem from New Malden, so there is that side of excuse me, that's that side of things that we identify as Hammers being from Surrey. As you know, you can tell a genuine person from a mile off, and you know, and it's brilliant that he probably
even down to silly things. After Watford, I took him to the airport as he was going away with his girlfriend, and he said to me in the car, he said, "Baz, I need to be a pain. Can I leave my boots here?" I said, "Of course you can." I said, "George, you love them," as a joke. And he went, "No." He said, "I need them." He said, "Can you take them to my house?" Now, bearing in mind, I live in the Forest, or New Forest, and obviously he's in Surrey. But he said, "I need them at home for when I get home because of England." I said, "No worries." So I took his boots around to his house during the week of being at home when I was down that way. And I just put them through his door, and I sent him a photo of his boots there. I said, "All done, mate." And he's just words, "Thank you so much, mate. It means so much. I can't believe you've done it, blah, blah, blah." So he's always grateful. He's just full of manners and things like that. He's a good kid.
Yeah, he's definitely a very good stock.
Believe me, he loves this football club as well.
Yeah, Baz, you need to move your thumb, mate. I think you're over the microphone a little bit.
I ain't touching it, I don't think. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, there we go. That's better.
All right, sorry.
Anyway, it's what happens when you hold, like you say, you're holding it the entire time. All right, so basically, just coming around to that, let's come on quite nicely to the second part of the stuff I wanted to talk to you about. What are your thoughts about this season?
Coming or been?
Just been.
My target at the start was progression, and for me, progression was to not be involved in a relegation battle, which we didn't do. So I think we progressed well. I think it's a bit unrealistic thinking we're good enough to be in the top 6. We're miles off that. I say miles, not like country miles, but we're still a way off of that. We ain't got the depth in our squad to be competing with the likes of Man United, Arsenal, who are 5th and 6th. You know, Wolves have proved this year it is possible to have a good run and be 7th. I think we should be trying to target that first of all before anything else. Yes, we've moved to a bigger stadium, but we're still West Ham. You know, all right, we spent £100 million last year, but if we don't do that this summer, then we ain't going to be moving miles forward again now. So for me, it's just about progression again, and finishing 10th this year. It's now about trying to get, for me, 7th, 8th or 9th. Just taking little steps. Unless you're bought out by someone big and given fortunes of money and you buy everyone you want and what you need, for me, you don't get just a given into that top 6. It's tough. And you've only got to look at teams like Arsenal and Man United. You know, 15 years ago, they were dominating our football. And now they're nowhere near good enough now to be in the top 3, either, in my opinion.
Yeah, I know what you mean, mate. I mean, because I said at the start of the season that we'd finish no higher than 10th, and I'm very happy that we got there. We could have done better over a few things. For example, you know, we could have played better against Brighton in both games. But one thing I was very, very happy about is when we played Arsenal away, was that the system was starting to work in those early days. You could really see what Pellegrini was trying to do. And to be fair, he's achieved a lot more than I was expecting him to be honest. As I say, I wanted a top 10 finish. We've done that. I was happy with that. But he's taken a lot of the deadwood and kicked him about a little bit. You know, obviously.
Yeah, I get you. I do, but I still think with him, it's one plan, and it is all out. And if it don't work, you're in trouble. And unfortunately, we're West Ham. You know, we ain't one of these teams that have got 5 of the best attacking players in the world. You know, we ain't got that. We ain't got any of them. You know, and when you're at Man City, and I know he done a good job in Spain, but it's a total different game of football out there to what it is over here. Mm. And I just think sometimes I think he forgets he's a manager of West Ham. That's my point. And at times we have to win games or get something out of games by being. It's not dirty is the wrong word, but being
dogged, basically. It's a dogged performance.
You have to put the hard work in. It don't always come by being flash and pretty. You know, sometimes, and I think a lot of times we overplay. I think we take too many touches at times, and instead of just getting a shot off. But like you said a minute ago, it's definitely progression there. Do I think Slaven Bilic would have got us to 10th if he had 100 million quid? Probably. I do, if I'm honest with you. Do I think Pellegrini would take us further than Bilic in the long run? Yes, if he continues to get £100 million. But I don't if his budget this window is 25 million, 30 million is rumoured, and that's it. I think we'll be at the same level. And that's why I praised the board last year. I say praised. No, I acknowledge what the board done last year. But they need to do that every year now. Or they need to come out with a statement and say, our 7-year plan's miles off. And we've got another 4-year plan from now or something. So fans know where we're at.
Yeah, 100%, mate. I mean, just thinking about today, because obviously in 2 weeks' time today, the fixtures for next season start coming out. But also, more importantly, this is going to make you and me feel really old, mate. But 14 years ago today, Bobby Zamora scored that goal against Preston North End to get us up to, back into the
I was levered,
championship.
Absolutely levered. I remember I was absolutely off my head that day.
I cannot believe it was that long ago. Because obviously we had the embarrassment of playing Palace in the playoff final beforehand. And then, we're straight back up in the second season, exactly the same way that Villa have done it as well.
Good.
So when it comes to next season, what were your hopes on there? You thinking maybe finish 10th again, or maybe finish a little bit?
That's got to be the worst case next year, is to be 10th. Anything lower, again, I think going backwards. For me, it's got to be 7th, 8th, 9th. And we've got to go for something in the cups. Stop. Listen, the team put out at AFC Wimbledon was plenty good enough, I agree. Completely and utterly agree. But when you start watching that game and the game starts and all of a sudden you're getting bossed in midfield, and at the time the best midfielder at the football club, Declan Rice, is still sat on the bench not being used, it's time to make changes. Put him on. Just try and tighten the game up, because Noble and Obiang weren't working that night. Now, you have to make them changes, not just continue to rest. That hurt us and cost us. We win that, we then play Millwall. And not just because it's Millwall, but there's another chance of progressing again. You know, if our club got to a semi-final of FA Cup, we could finish for 15th, 14th, 15th, and the fans would sort of forgive it. Because Eric said you had to go at something. You know, we don't expect miracles as West Ham fans. And listen, I've been going since 86. I'm 38. I've never known West Ham to have good owners, ever. I've never known us to have massive transfer windows and buy the best players in the world. Never. I don't expect that. You know, the move, it was all unrealistic. At the time I bought into it, I thought it was going to be great. I thought it would attract a massive investor. I think the reasoning with the ground now, with the ownership, is why we haven't. But if West Ham had come out at that point and said, look, we're moving away from Upton Park because we can get to play in front of 60,000 people who will watch West Ham every week, and them reasons, you know, maybe I wouldn't have believed it. But because of the rubbish about the next level, all of that talk, it made me buy into it. And now it's a case of, I don't expect miracles, I really don't. But we have to do something because of what we've lost. Or someone at the club needs to step out, in my opinion, and say, look, hands up, The 7-year plan's gone. We didn't make it. We're now planning for the next 3 or 4 years. Now we have a good manager who's under contract and put him on that contract and stick with him. If that happens, I'm not saying it will bring everybody back, but some people may start having a little bit of trust in them again. But all the while it's quiet and you're still living off the rubbish you were told 7, 8 years ago. Because let's be honest, that's when the 7-year plan started, when they got the okay for that ground. The day they were granted permission to be the tenants was the day their plan started. Not now, or not last season, or the day we moved into it that day. And we moved into that ground and played our first game there against Bournemouth, with fans going in the away entrance, turnstiles, and fans going to their seats, not even having a seat, just having a concrete slab. It was rush, and it was all for one reason, money, which we know. So for me, as I say, it's just about being honest. And as a fan, I think I'm quite honest in saying we ain't good enough to compete to be in the top 4. We're well off that, and I don't think we're good enough to win a cup every year. But give us a chance. Give it you all in them cups. We can't win nothing else. Put the best teams out possible. Win the game, then bring them off and rest them.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, Baz, 100% with that, because that is what the basics that we want. I mean, personally, I wouldn't mind finishing 10th, and like you say, we get to a semi-final or quarter-final in the League Cup or the.
If we finish 16th and got to the FA Cup semi-final, would you be gutted?
Oh, mate, I'll be ecstatic.
That's my point, and that's it. And West Ham fans, that's all we want. You know, we've won the FA Cup. We're in a League 2 side against the League 1, against Arsenal. You know, I think I'm right in saying we're still the last club to do that as well.
We would, pretty much, because obviously,
I think we are.
with the closest that's come since then is pretty much Wigan when they were relegated and beat Man City. So yeah, it's been a bit of a tumultuous time as it always is. But where would you want Pellegrini to reinforce for this coming season? What sort of positions?
I think we need a box-to-box midfielder. I do think that. I think Mark Noble towards the end of the season has been quality. I don't believe the rumours his legs are gone and he's finished. But I do think we need that box-to-box midfielder. You know, Declan, you see through his game, he's so disciplined, he don't cross the halfway line. We need someone who's going to, you know, not him, but someone like a Kayate at his best, who will just go backwards and forwards throughout the game, you know, and will keep you ticking. So that's one position for me. We definitely need another forward because I think we're going to lose a couple. Obviously, Carroll's been released already. I think Hernandez will go. Perez. I think Arnie will stay. So we definitely need something with him. And I rate our 2 centre-backs, but I ain't overly convinced with Ogbonna. And even if you lose Ogbonna, you know, all of a sudden you've only got a youngster as replacement. And I don't really know any youngsters that.
And Winston Reid as well, which is at the moment he's
but you can't rely on Winston Reid. Winston Reid's like relying on Andy Carroll. Now everyone can slag out, and if Winston Reid hadn't, now I think Winston Reid's time's come. I think X has said it on his stuff as well. With his back, when it's your back, everything plays a part in it, and it's just unreliable for me. And now, if you're going to go forward, you've got to be reliable. I'm gutted Andy Carroll's left, but only from an emotional side to a degree. From a football side, I'm not, because his game don't fit West Ham no more, and he ain't reliable enough for West Ham.
I mean, his leaving video that he did for the club, that got my heart. It really
definitely. And it's like, and he still counted us as we then, you know, and he's been there 7 years.
Yeah.
Or 8 years, whatever, 7, I think. And
7,
it is a big part in your life. And I feel for him. I definitely think he could have done more to have helped himself. Definitely. 100%. I think he's also been dealt a very, very bad hand. And he's got no luck whatsoever. Listen, that geezer could put a stepladder up and break his ankle. That's his luck, you know, and I feel for him there. But when you're injured and you're being paid loads of money by a football club, you've got to respect the fans and all. And when they see you going out on the piss and coming home and then training the next day, maybe hungover or whatever, you know, that ain't a good sign.
We saw that.
But going back to Winston Reid, he's unreliable for me. So yeah, I think we need another centre half and one other winger. Maybe Shaqiri they're looking at. Maybe him. You know, I think he'd be a good signing because we've only really got Anderson and Antonio. Yarmolenko will come back. but I'd like to try and see Anderson maybe more central, because you spoke about Arsenal with the formation working, and he played central that day,
Yeah.
and I thought he was quality. Probably one of his best games for us. Although we lost one of his best games, he was direct, and we expect him as the winger to do this tracking back, and we criticise him for not. He ain't one of the players. He's a flair player. Don't expect Messi to be sliding and making tackles, do you? And credit to him. Look at his challenge he done at Watford last game of the season when he tracked right back and ended up giving away the corner. You know, so he does do it at times, but a double winger.
I mean, that was the same. Keeper. I mean, that was the same issue that we started having with Arnautovic even before the January saga, was the fact that every now and again he was just staying still. He wasn't tracking back. So, but you're right, Anderson's been doing it a lot more over the last few games. Around about February, March time, really, he was really buckling down. Maybe Pellegrini had said something to him and just gone, you need to be playing more.
Apparently, he did. I think he was called in about having to track back. I think that was what went on that chat. But I don't know, it's just difficult, because to have players, they have to play. And you don't sign many good players just to sit on your bench.
Yeah, I know what you mean, mate. And just say, well, because obviously, as you mentioned, Carroll's has been let go officially, and now also Adrian is as well. I mean, what have your thoughts been with Adrian since? Because it's been pretty much the same length of time, really. What are your thoughts on Adrian for us?
I think he's been a good servant to the football club. I do think that, and I'm thankful for that. And his passion was good with West Ham. The only thing I'll say, would he be loved as much if he hadn't scored that penalty that night and threw his gloves on the floor? I don't think so. When we kept chopping and changing between him and Randolph, in my opinion, Randolph was the better keeper, just making bad decisions. But, for Adrian as well, at this time of his career, he's got to move on. If he don't want to finish his career sat on the bench, and I'm friendly with Jermaine Defoe, and he was told the same by Eddie Howe. I don't want to finish your career as a substitute. Go and play football. And that was the words he was told by Eddie Howe, and I think the same with Adrian. He don't want to just sit on a bench and rock. Go and play somewhere. I personally don't think he's good enough for the Premier League, in my honest opinion. And I'd be shocked if any top 10 side bought him. That's for sure.
Absolutely, and there's talk about there's not really talk. It's just there's apparently a lot of Leeds United supporters are saying grab him now, because I think
he'd be good at a club. Right? He's got good experience as well. They're things you need to remember. And again, he's a great servant, and when he shows. When you appreciate someone like West Ham fans do with players, when they get that appreciation, I think he sticks, and he's loyal to you, and he was great for us. Cut. The fans, always had time for the fans, even at the training ground or outside the ground, always stopped, signed autographs. He was good. But, you don't get in football teams by having a nice personality there. That's the thing.
Unfortunately,
if that's the case, Mark Arnautovic, but he wouldn't get in outside, would he? If it was on personality, he wouldn't get picked.
So obviously, because the window's open at the minute, who would you, other than obviously the other guys that are being touted as leaving, because we're not looking to be selling that much, because obviously there's talk about Fernandez pretty much being signed up for Mainz. What was that, 7 or 8 million, I think it is, and also the possibility of Reece Oxford going to the Bundesliga as well. But who else would you say we need to get rid of?
Man, it's tough. It is tough to just call players like, for me, Obiang may be one, but without cover, I wouldn't. And the only reason I say for him, because he's just been so inconsistent, in my opinion. I don't think he's better than Ross or Noble, and I think they start. And I've always said I think we need to buy a box-to-box midfielder. So if we did, that would make him fourth choice. So I think you could lose a player like that. Perez, as I said earlier, I don't think he's going to get a good enough chance. I think he should go. I think the youngsters we've got in, the Josh Cullens, Joe Powell, maybe Dean Garner, I think they need a season in the Championship to prove himself. People like Declan Rice, I know he didn't have it, but people like him are rare. Some people take it like duck to water, but and Declan has. But you look at someone like Rio Ferdinand, or even he's out on loan. And I think these players, M3 players, should one more season, or not one more, one season. Josh Cullen, obviously another, at the Championship, but a more physical level. You know, I think Dean Gardner's got ability, but I think he's quite lightweight. And I think he needs to go and be ruffled up a bit to prove himself even more. And we'll see that as a football club, whether he's properly ready for it. I think he'll do well if he has that year's loan. But just playing every now and then, I don't think it's enough for someone like that.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I mean, X has said about Dean Garner on quite a few occasions over the last year or so that he's the sort of player that needs to be mollycoddled and encouraged quite a lot. And unfortunately, the Premier League is not the league for that. Championship, yes, 100%. Josh Cullen going out to the Championship next season, agreed 100%. Because obviously you probably saw around about this time last week, I think it was reported that it's been confirmed on the website that he signed a 12-month contract extension. So maybe that's exactly what the plan is going to be. Either put him out for half a season or a full season and see how he gets on, and then if he doesn't, he leaves on free. Unfortunately, because
I think good business.
Say again.
I think that's good business if you do that.
It would be,
I think that's probably the best way. And to be fair, as I say, unless you're someone like Declan Rice, who is an exceptional talent, I don't think you'll get them chances under the manager. I know they got them like Dean Garner and that against Macclesfield, and because of that they had to stay in. But he didn't feature a lot, in fairness to him. Not enough anyway, unless we were really sure. And when he never stood out. And I'm not saying you should stand out every week in the Premier League, but there was never that game you thought he's improved every week, he's improved. And I think for him, he just needs to play football. Great to be involved in the Premiership club, must be. But unless you're playing regularly, it must be difficult to find any form. And that's why going out on loan, as I said, building yourself up, getting strong, getting a bit of experience, then coming back and saying, I've got a bit of confidence now. I'm with you, big boys. Let's have a go at it. And I think that's when you see the better out of them players.
Yeah, I mean, I'm the same as you, mate. I always wanted to try and see a few more juniors breaking through, and it was a bit of a shame that we let was it Joe Pash, I think you pronounce it. He was as well. That was a bit of a shame because apparently there was a few rumours around him a year or so ago that he was the next one to break through, and just unfortunately never really happened. I know we saw him in that league game, the League Cup game. What was it when we were playing one of the League One sides? Yes, it was that as well. But it was good to see what he's capable of. But obviously, there's not enough. Otherwise, that obviously he would have a longer a new contract or something along those lines. So okay, so Baz, for you, apart from obviously Declan Rice, who's your best player for the season just gone?
Best player, Fabianski by a mile. I think he was better than Declan Rice. I think Declan Rice improved massively, but Declan's still young. I think he will improve, and I think he'll improve even more again next year. But consistency-wise, I just think Fabianski was superb all season. There was games we got beaten, like whether it was 1-0, 2-0, 2-1, whatever. That could have been 4-5-6-1 or 4-5-6-0. But with him, Bournemouth at home, for example, we had our pants pulled down second half, and he pulled some saves off that, like, you just think, fuck me, that's in. Oh no, what a save. Chelsea at home pulled off some great saves. And for me, he was and deservedly Hammer of the Year.
Agreed. Yeah, I mean, for me personally, it was Declan Rice, just purely because he wasn't as showmancy as a goalie is. Because when you're in the midfield and you make a tackle, nobody really notices unless you make an absolute.
No, that's right. Yeah.
I mean, because Fabianski, literally the first game of the season, he made some fantastic saves against Liverpool away. And that could have been worse than the battering that it was. So turning on to the other side of it now, who is your worst player from the season just gone?
That's tough, man. That's put me in a spot. Worst player. That's hard. That's difficult. I don't know if anyone stands out to be worst player. Disappointing.
Right, let me rephrase your question in that case. Who's been your most disappointing player in the season just gone?
okay, from the first season, my most disappointing player last year would have been Zabaleta after the first season. But I think that may be to do with the way we play. The forwards, Chicharito and Perez, have got to be up there. Now, although Chicharito, again, he's another one. I feel a bit sorry for him because you don't get formed by keep being subbed off. You know, when you're a sub and you get sent on to score goals and you score them, how you don't start the following week, I'll never know. And I think both Chicharito and Perez had that trouble. But when you're a manager like Pellegrini, I think he's always going to play his better players. I do think that. And there's no doubt about it. The way we play with the three up top and the one central, you have to play an Arnautovic when fit and up for it. I don't think you play Chicharito as a one-man forward. I don't. I think he's wasted. I don't think he's strong enough. I don't think he's fast enough. So that's why I understand why he does it. But then we've got to be in disappointing category to a degree. But I don't know, apart from that, there's no one who really stands out who I think they had a shocking season or didn't turn up.
I mean, for me personally, I can't think of anyone that has really disappointed me either. It is a very tough one because we have played not the best of games, we've not played not the worst of games, and there's not been that many annoying individual mistakes this season as well, which is one of the good things. I think for me personally, I think one of the most disappointing players, just purely because of that injury that he picked up, nothing else. Because I was really disappointed to not see him make the entire season, is Jack Wilshere. That side of it,
yeah,
that's the most.
Yeah, but again,
so go on.
But I think with him again, you look at him and you know what you're getting. You know, when Jack Wilshere, it's different here. Andy Carroll, I think, time's up at West Ham. I think he's had too long. And the way we are now, his game don't suit us. So that's why I think it's the right decision to let him go through injuries as well. Jack Wilshere, I don't. Although he's on top money, if you get a run of games, I know it's but if you get a run of games out of him, I think he's mustard. And I'll even put it as far to say I'd play him instead of Lanzini, if fully fit. And you knew wasn't going to break down the following week and be out for 7 or 8 weeks. If Jack Wilshere is fit and Jack Wilshere is 100%, and if at the start of the season he was going to play 30 games, he'd be a starter over Lanzini for me. I
mean, that was the funny thing. The plan was, because obviously Lanzini picked up that awful injury on international duty. The plan was that Wilshere was going to be the cover for Lanzini, and then we ended up bringing in Nasri to be the cover. You know, so it was a bit of a weird one. That, I mean, talking to Nasri, because he's one of the players that's been officially being released as of the end this time next month. With the handful of games that he's played, do you think that releasing him has been a good idea?
On that money, yeah, definitely on the money. You know, and again, if you can't get reliability out of him, he's no good. You know, I'll go back to the game at Chelsea. We was desperate for someone that game, and he come out to warm up at half time, and within 3 minutes of warming up, it is done, and he can't come on second half. You know, that ain't good enough for a side that want to try and compete. And when I say compete, I don't mean with the best teams in the league, but try and compete throughout games and have a go and try and finish in that 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th position. That's not good enough. You need someone who's reliable, and his fitness proved he ain't. And for that reason, again, I think it's a good decision by the football club.
Yeah.
What we need to know now is, or remember now, is our manager. He ain't someone who's going to keep you because of what's the word I'm looking for? Because of your loyalty, things like that. And the same with Winston Reid. I must be honest. I think if Winston Reid comes back, say he comes back first game of the season, gets fit and gets cropped within 3 weeks, I think you'll soon see him gone. Because I don't think the manager will play games no more. We ain't that, look at me, I'm going to keep him because he's been here 8 years and he's a good servant. Cheerio, get on your bike. You ain't no good for my squad. That's how I think it is now. And it's more professional. It's
definitely a lot more cutthroat, that's for sure. Because like you say, that Rice being substituted off at half-time at the very, very start of the season. Then there was rumours about him going out on loan, which obviously never happened. I'm quite glad that didn't happen. But that was, of course, lazy journalists saying, well, he's had a shit game and therefore he's off because it's Pellegrini's lieutenant.
Yeah, but no, that was true. That was true. He was going to go out on loan.
Oh, wow. Okay, that
weren't the journalist story, that he was going to be sent out on loan to learn his trade. Thankfully,
I'm very, very glad that we didn't, because obviously wouldn't have had that performance that he did. Okay, so just bringing up to some of the other news this week, because Baz, did you see about the new deals with Betway and obviously Umbro, and apparently it's now going to be bringing in a combined figure of 11 million a year rather than the 5 or 6 from the previous season. Brilliant piece of. Well, I mean, we'll obviously come on to Umbro in a little bit, but for that, I did say when I did my video about the financial state of affairs, the first thing I said in that, once I broke everything down, was we need better sponsorship deals, and we've got that from Betway, we've got that from Umbro, because that's technically classed as sponsorship, being the kit maker as well. So all right, it doesn't really bring in that much money, but at the same point, plus what was released today, the new home kits and the away kits from Umbro, I think what a way to celebrate the new contract. I mean, Baz, obviously, what are your thoughts on the new kits?
I think both kits are very nice. I think it's good to show the club are looking at what was, and like even down to the little castle on the back of the shirt. I think it's very good. I think it's very clever. I think that's Umbro have done well, and I think they've released great kits. I think they both look really nice. I think that, as I say, the cleverness is it's made the fans look at it and look again, with the old school stuff and the old school style. Because let's not beat around the bush. These owners have pushed the fans further away from this club than they've ever been. We've never, as I said earlier, we've never had good owners, but we've never had owners at the club that I know that the majority of the fan base really disliked and took a dislike to. And it's only because of the move. It's not anything else. It's the move. If the move weren't there, they'd dislike him, don't get me wrong. They wouldn't hate him now. A lot of people do hate him now and refuse to go like they do. They'd still go. So they've done well. I think the sponsorship deal for the football club's good. I think Betway are fantastic at West Ham, if I'm honest. And even down to things like Isla, what they've done for her. And I look at their video this week, they've included fans. So your fans get a feel of it as well, which I think is great. So credit to Betway, credit to Umbro, and credit to West Ham. I think combined, the three of them have done really well for the football club.
Yeah, the background of Betway is roughly the same sort of background as us supporters. That they've all been from, they come from the ground up. They're not an accumulation of any other betting company, or they haven't been around for 70, 80 years like quite a few of the other ones. They've literally got the same background of people working for the club and sorry, for the companies they do for the club, and obviously for us. And I think it's brilliant. I mean, for the home kit, I absolutely love. The 76 shirt is one of my all-time favourites. But to have that inculminated in, and do you know when X said a few weeks ago that it was going to be a claret shorts and socks, I wasn't too impressed with that idea. Call me the traditionalist, but it's usually been a claret and blue shirt with white shorts, and then mixed mullet, various different colours of socks, going from white, blue, claret, dark blue. We've had a few times as well, but it's. Then when I saw the photos that went up before it was officially announced today, I absolutely loved it. I thought the design was perfect, and the away kit,
class.
Yeah, they are. But the away kit is another level. For the first time ever, I've purchased both home and away shirts. I don't really buy shirts. I bought them without the sponsorship thing is on there as well, because I just think they look better without them. But I couldn't wait. I just could not wait to get them.
You just said how good Betway have done, and now you bought a shirt without their name on
it. I just hate seeing sponsorship on it. I hate seeing it in rugby and especially in cricket as well. It just doesn't look right. The design of Umbro is perfect. I'm not a betting man in any shape or form, so but at the same point, they do look nice with it. But I prefer it without it, because I'm a traditionalist.
I'm the same as you. I think they look nice plain. And I go back to that season at Upton Park when we didn't even have a sponsor. And I look at that kit now, and I love that kit because it didn't have it on there. But, you know, it is what it is. I'm not going to say you should have it. I'm not going to say you shouldn't. And back to the shorts and socks, I think you're right. It does look nice. But I am one of them. I do like the claret shirt, white shorts, blue socks. That's me. I love that. And when we played in it last year, at times, not always, but when we was away from home, I loved it. And that was, for me, I thought that's always looked the best I've ever seen it. But you're right, I do like claret. Even the away kit last year, you know, you think when that come out, that till, we all sat there and pulled faces. As soon as I saw it personally, as soon as I see it on with the yellow socks, I thought, I actually quite like this. But I think they've done a great job again, as we just said this year. And that away kit is special, as well as the own.
Yeah, I mean, with the new deal of, it was being reported. There's nothing been confirmed. Obviously, we won't find out until the books are published towards the end of next year for the season just gone. But the sponsorship deal with Betway has gone up to around about between 16 and 24, depending on where you're looking at your sources. So again, a good amount of money. Basically, at the end of the day, we've got a sponsorship and kit sponsorship deal coming in to buy at least one decent player of around about 30 million quid. So very, very happy with the way that's been going. Now, talking about obviously players we've been linked with very, very briefly. I mean, so you obviously touched on wanting to bring in Shaqiri earlier. What do you think about this whole stuff with the Barcelona player Gomez?
Top player. He's probably one I would like. The only fear I have with that is he a bit similar to Declan in defensive-minded wise. You know, I think we need that box-to-box midfielder. I think he's proper good, you know, and he's great to have cover. And I think it would depend on the way that Pellegrini sets up. Do I think him and Declan are working the same team? Yes and no. You know, I'd rather see us have a go more than be over-defensive. But again, you know, he's a player I'd like to see at West Ham. So I think it's an option, definitely. But I just don't like West Ham's way of business again. If it's true, if it's 15 million quid off when the gigs are valued at 30, stop mugging yourselves off. Because if someone come to us and said, I'll give you 9 million for Declan Rice, you'll be in the papers and making stories. Look at this, a joke. But we do it to every football club. And that's what I don't like. No one's stupid. No chairman's stupid to sit and say, oh yeah, you're West Ham, you can do that. But all it does, it gives us negative press again and reactions from fans. And this is what the football club have never learned. And all the call-outs from fans about Jack Sullivan putting leaks out, no, that stopped. Fair play, that stopped. But all of a sudden, the leaks come from somewhere else. So it's what the football club actually want, let's be honest, otherwise they wouldn't come out at all. Same as all these pictures with the kits. Unless Umbro have got someone corrupt, someone in that football club is somewhere sending these pictures. So
it's either that or somebody's out in Malaysia or something and
that's what I mean. There's something somewhere that's not right. But I don't look at Umbro for that. I think there's something in the club. Same with all these transfer stories. No, I'm not slagging X off here whatsoever. There's a reason why he gets his news. No, it's not because he's got a secret microphone or video camera in on David Sullivan or David Gold's office. Someone tells him stuff, and he's told it for a reason. You know, for me, it don't bother me. I don't care because I don't think because ex-employees tweeted out West Ham are trying to sign Gomez for argument's sake for 20 million, it means that we won't sign him. You know, football clubs don't wait to see what ex-employee tweets before they react in the transfer window. That's for sure. You know, so he gives out what the papers would give you the following day. He just gives you it a day earlier. And then it comes from somewhere within the club. So I think he gets a lot of unneeded bollocks, if I'm honest with you. So I'd just rather West Ham do things right. You know, stop messing about with these silly bids. You ain't ever going to win. It ain't an auction. You know what I mean? It's a buy.
Yeah, you're absolutely right on that, mate. I mean, because the good thing is you're absolutely spot on. The majority of the where it's come from, for example, all right, yeah, Maxi Gomez has been floated around by X a few weeks, and obviously the Andre Gomez stuff and the Maripan rumours as well. Those have all come from newspaper sources rather than Claret and Hugh or Knees Up Mother Brown or the West Ham way, you know, West Ham, well, whatever. It's not coming from those sources as much. And I'm absolutely loving that because I was just pissed off with it as you are. The insider information going up on the website a couple of seasons ago. We all know who that was, and you know, it's Jack Sullivan. But you know, for the annoying thing for me with both Gomez approaches, as well as, and also this Maripan that was rumored to have been done as well, is the fact that, like you say, we're putting in derisory bids. Like, for example, what was it with Maripan is meant to be worth, what they're asking for, 20-25 million. We've put 10-15 million bid in. Apparently they're thinking about it. So sometimes it works, but if that's true, then you're right. It just makes us look like we're being
You're laughing,
brothers
Scott.
again.
And that's why David Gold and David Sullivan, not David Gold as much, I don't think he deals with the business right. More David Sullivan has the name in football he has. That's the reason why. And I've said this for years, you know, I've never known another football club. Maybe it's just because I follow West Ham, but I've never known or seen another football club in the press with such negativity and stupidity as West Ham has. Through things business-wise. You know, don't get me wrong, it's not just business. You know, things in the ground with fans fighting each other, you know. No, I don't see that I know it happened at Tottenham with a new ground, don't get me wrong, but West Ham always seem to attract that more than anyone else. And there'd be something daft, even if it's down to the portion of chips in the stadium that I see once. Picture of them paid £9 for this or whatever it was. You know what I mean? It's always West Ham. Because it comes from above. Because of what's been let out before from them with the rubbish, it just filters through. And that's why they need to be professional now. If you're going to put a bid, don't even announce it. If you're going to make 15 million, do not say. Don't say you've only done that. Don't let Sky report back that you've only bid 15 million. Make it undisclosed. You know, when you buy them, you make them undisclosed. Why can you not bid undisclosed there now? Now, they must have the right to do that as a football club.
Well, exactly. I know what you mean, mate. It is, but you know, the thing about what annoys the hell out of me about West Ham, and like same with you, and I'm sure everybody else that's watching this at some point, that they seem to make 2 or 3 decent steps forward, and then they'll make a mistake, and it's back to square one. Like you said, you get everyone. Twitter goes into meltdown, saying, "Oh, they're doing this again, they're doing that again," and kind of focusing on too much of the negatives. I mean, even yourself, mate, as I say, being referred to as an attention whore. Bearing in mind you do what you're publicising is for the livelihood of the little girl. So
I'm glad the geezer knows who I am. I ain't got a clue who he is. I'm glad he knows me and my name, because that means what I'm doing is going round. Because all I'm doing is promoting her. I don't promote myself. I don't do anything for myself. I'll be straight with you now. I get offered loads of stuff, and whatever I get, I put into Isla. There's nothing I've got. I tell you, my niece, as you know, comes to me all the time. The only shirt she gets is what she asked for. The shirts that are given to me, I auction off. An Outfit gave me his shirt. I auctioned it off. Georgie's never had an Outfit shirt. You know, so there's nothing that I get given that no one else could have. Georgie gets her shirts because she stands outside the ground. With me, we wait around 2 hours after the game, and she asks the players, and yeah, all right, next week, and we go next week. She gets it, then she'll ask someone else. Anyone can do that. You know, that's your choice.
Precisely.
I get nothing. I pay the same money as everybody else for a ticket at West Ham. Yeah. I get nothing whatsoever. I don't. If people know me, I'm really, really glad, because it means what I'm doing is going round. And people that do know me and know me well know that I'll do anything I can to help them as well. And again, you know, I've had 5 or 6 shirts this year that I've given to other people for their kids, and not even my own niece, because I see their kids stood there every week asking and never getting. And when it comes towards me, Baz, I went, sort out this boy here, sort out Southampton away. I sorted 2 lads out. No, their dads were well thankful to me. And I still get messages now. I'll never forget what you've done for my boy, the smile you put on his face. That means something to me. Not these knobs who tweet me, you attention whore. You mean nothing, mate. You're a kid. You walk past me every single week, yet say that. 0. Not a word.
Exactly. I mean, we all get tainted with it, you know, because you know, for years, and they probably still do. The West Ham Fan TV guys, you know, like Ryan especially is very, very vocal about it, because you know they got a lot of criticism about from when they started up the Thames Ironworks Community Football Club. Everybody took it in the wrong way. Even a couple of mates of mine, when I started this channel up, they were asking, well, you know, are you being paid by the club? I said, mate, have you seen my videos? There's no way I'm getting financed by the club. You know, so whenever you do something good, they always think, yes, he's a little mole for the club, or you know.
Yeah, of course. I was given 2 tickets to the West Ham Players' Walk, £710 or 720 quid's worth of money. I raffled them off for Isla. I went to the Players' Walks, got my ticket paid for me by a friend of mine who invited me for what I do. But if he hadn't, I would have bought the ticket myself and gone.
Of course, yeah.
I didn't use the 2 tickets that were given to me, which I could have used.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. It's just that people seem to. That's what I hate about using social media. As I only really use it apart from the conversations I've had with you and a few other good people that have come on before. I really only tweet about the channel. I don't get involved in anything else. I mean, apart from today where I was going on about how much I'm loving the new kit. I mean, it's a pointless medium. It started out a great, fantastic idea, and it's just the little self-appointed herberts that just feel they're God's gift to the keyboard. Unfortunately,
to be fair, you know what? I started my Twitter account, I don't know, 6 years ago, whatever it was, 7 years, and I had no following. You know, I followed a few people at West Ham, a few people followed me back. It was nothing. I went to Mark Noble's testimonial. I got there early at West Ham. The last pissed out my head. I stood up, I sung a song at Noble, as everybody probably knows and sing. I weren't to know there was someone filming it. I didn't have a clue. I didn't even know where I was. I was off my head. Just completely ruined. Someone's filmed it, put it on the internet. It's gone a bit viral. Mark's seen it. Mark's commented. All of a sudden, everybody starts following me. It's you're Baz. It's all about you, Noble. It's all about blah, blah, blah. I used that following to my advantage to help this little girl. That is it. Nothing else. I don't get anything from this. Nothing whatsoever, except for grief. Except for people sending food orders to my house bank holiday Monday. I'll be straight with you. I'm 38. I live with my mum and dad because they're disabled. What do I do when that doorbell rings at 10 o'clock at night and I'm at work? What does my mum do? Get out and answer it? Because someone wants to send a pizza. Geezer's a prick. He's got my address. Walk there yourself. Come and knock on my front door. Tell me what your problem is. But they won't because they're brave behind a computer and they're brave behind a fake email account and behind a fake phone number. That's all these people are. They'll never stop me doing what I do. For every one dickhead, there's 100 people that praise me. And I don't do it for praise. If no one said thank you to me, I wouldn't care. I don't do it for that reason. I do it to help that little girl. And I know from her family the appreciation I have. I tell Nicola. Nicola tells me every time, thank you. Nick, cut the thank yous. I don't want no thank yous. Say thank you to me at the end when we've got where we need to be. And we're all celebrating with a glass of champagne. That's when we'll thank each other. Right now, the attention should be with Isla and helping that little girl get everything she needs and everything she wants. That is all it should be for me.
Exactly, and she is so close to getting to that final bit as well.
That close, mate. That close.
Yeah, exactly. So close.
And that's why these little pricks that want to give it all that will never get near me to stop me, ever.
Yeah. Baz, it's been an absolute pleasure to talk to you, mate. Before we round this up, I just want to ask you one final question. What are your thoughts on Martin Allen's boy coming in as the third goalkeeper?
To be fair, this might sound really weird. I don't follow a lot of other football apart from West Ham. Don't get me wrong, I look at the Premier League, but people say to me quite often on Twitter, Baz, who do you want us to sign? I generally don't know. And the only players I ever want West Ham to sign is who the manager wants. Don't care who I want, you know what I mean? I want West Ham to sign Messi, Ronaldo, Sergio Aguero. You know, I want the best players in the world. It's never going to happen. So I don't know a lot about him. If he's good enough and the club think he's good enough, brilliant. Get him in, get him on board. It'd be great to have someone who's got a bit of history from the club, from their old man involved. But if it's just signing him because of his dad and he ain't good enough, don't bother. But if he's good enough, get him in. But I think Nathan Trott, I said earlier we need a keeper. I think Nathan Trott should be given a chance.
Yeah.
I do. And I think he should come in and step up to that number 2. The reason I say I think we need another keeper is obviously he'll still get used, I think, in the under 23s, whatever. So you're always going to need that third keeper. And I think like when we had Joe Hart, you always need that other one experienced head around the club. You know, 2's not enough. If Fabianski, touch wood, don't happen and gets an injury second game of the season and you're only left for Nathan Trott, nothing against him. If he plays 3 games and he's absolute pants and not ready for it, what do you do? Transfer window's shut, you've got to go with it. So in my opinion, we do need another keeper.
Agreed, but also there is a law in the sort of a ruling, I should say, that we can sign an emergency goalkeeper if needed. Like for example, when Hart went to Burnley, both of their goalkeepers were injured, and they were able to get him in pretty sharp as a result of it. But guys,
I'll tell you, I'd look at Huddersfield's keeper. I quite like him.
Oh, what Lozell, I think his name is, isn't it? Lozzie.
I did quite like him. You're saying, yeah.
My number 2 choice, to be honest with you, my number 2 choice it would be either the geezer from Huddersfield 100% or Etheridge from Cardiff. But without him, they would have been relegated a lot earlier than they were. So I'd take either of those two as backups. And obviously but agreed. I would love to see Nathan Trott in there. Wouldn't mind seeing what's the other kid's name? And Aniang, I think you pronounce it, or Anang, or how you pronounce it. He's meant to be even better than Trott, so they'd be interesting to see.
You're better than me.
But Baz, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you, mate.
Thanks for having
me. You're more than welcome.
Top,
guys. Thank you very much for sticking around. Unfortunately, there didn't seem to be anybody participating in the live chat, sadly, apart from Wally World, who watches every single podcast that I've been doing, and he's been following the American Hammers as well. So Wally, good to see you, mate. Guys, as I said at the start of the video, there's a link in the description below. It's directly to the Isla Caton Just Giving page. So by all means, please, even if you're not watching this live, you're watching it back after it's gone up, click on the link below. The target is, as I say, it's 80% of the way there, and and Isla's 80% of the way there to getting completely and what we would normally class as a normal life. So guys, put your bids down. Baz, I say, it's been an absolute pleasure to talk to you, mate. We'll definitely I'll definitely speak to you again soon. But guys, thank you very much for watching, and there will be some more content coming up. Obviously you can try to keep it as much as possible. There's not a lot really to talk about. As I say, on 9 o'clock on the 13th of June, I will be doing a live broadcast about the fixture list for next season, so keep an eye out for that. The day beforehand, on the 12th of June, there will be a video going up with me unboxing the two new kits, the home and away. So keep an eye out for that as well. In the meantime, guys, enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll see you soon.